Hello, my name's Lloyd Ross and welcome to another episode number 1 in fact, of Ask RPM. And today's question is all about, every single question is about the property market, property industry, all about property. That's what we do. So we just want to give you guys a bit of info on some of the questions being asked from people to us, some of the questions being asked on the internet about property. And today's question is it better to buy my dream home or is it better to buy a property investment? And so that question is asked of me all the time. So I actually had a client just last week who asked me that particular question and we had a long chat about it. And the answer to that question is, we're talking purely about investment. So we're not talking about, we're talking about making money in property. Okay, that's why people talk to us. They want to build wealth in property. So from an investment standpoint, forgetting about the stability of what a family home can provide, the difference between buying a dream home and buying a property investment is this. If you decide to buy a dream home, let's talk about that for a second because I think it's important. A dream home. What's a dream home? What does that mean? What is it? Is it a big home? Has it got all the bells and whistles of 5-bedroom underground car parks on the beach? Is that a dream home? Dream home is so different to everyone. So I think what that means is typically a dream home would be like a big home, okay, and it would be something that would satisfy a family for a long time, and it would have some of the nice features of a dream home, like a very nice swimming pool. It would have ducted air conditioning and stuff like this. So that is what I think a dream home would be, or it would be on the water. So here's the thing with dream homes. They usually cost more money than the average home. And when they do, they actually attract with it a huge mortgage. So when you're actually forking out a large amount of money to buy a dream home, you're actually also getting a large mortgage. And if you're getting a large mortgage on your home, the interest on that mortgage is not tax deductible. And you're the one that is responsible for paying the interest on that mortgage, no one else. So if you go and buy a $1.2 million home and you get a $1 million mortgage, then you're responsible for paying $50,000 a year in interest, just in interest. That's not the principal repayment to pay the loan off. So if you're responsible for that and interest rates go from 5% up to say 7%, you're going to have to pay an extra $20,000 a year just in interest, just to service the interest on your home. And sure as anything, interest rates are going to go up at some point. So if you're buying into the market now in terms of your dream home, you're going to have a situation where interest rates go up and it's going to burden your cash flow quite heavily. And so you're going to have one party earning some of the income. Like let's say both couples are earning $100,000 a year. One couple in its entirety, the entire wage is going to service a mortgage. So one person has to go to work just to live in this dream home. So for me, I think that's not astute investment planning. That's poor financial planning, I believe. And the other thing is, none of your insurance, none of your rates, none of your mortgage interest, none of your water, none of your maintenance is tax deductible at all. So you have no personal tax advantages of owning a personal home. So I think you're better off to actually, with the money that you would spend on a dream home, I think you're better off staying in your home where you are and paying that off, and then using the money you would ordinarily use for your dream home deposit to actually buy a property investment in an area that you don't necessarily want to live, but an area that's up and coming and growing. New shopping centres going in, new infrastructure going in, very, very high population growth, high job growth. So those are the areas you want to invest in. And you may not want to live in those areas because of all the changes in infrastructure going in. So you buy a property investment, then all of a sudden your interest is tax deductible. Then all of a sudden the depreciation of the asset is tax deductible off your personal tax. Your insurance, your rates, your water, everything is tax deductible. And the best part about that is when interest rates do go up, because they will, you then have a hedge against interest rate rises, because as soon as interest rates go up, your tax savings go up, your personal tax savings. Is it a good idea? Probably. I think you're getting a tax saving plus you're getting growth in the property market. The benefit of having your own home is that when it does grow and you sell it, you get a capital gain discount of, you don't pay capital gains tax. On a property investment, if you hold it for longer than 12 months, all the capital gains associated with that property will be taxed at only 15% or roughly 15%. not the full 30 or 35% that people actually think. So, you know, I think I'm a big advocate of not buying a dream home. I think it's a really horrible financial decision. I think it's like shooting yourself in the foot, because it's like being in quicksand. You're just going to have to... the amount of effort required to actually get out of that mortgage and pay that off is monumental. And I think a lot of people in the western suburbs of Sydney, for example, I think they're getting $1 million mortgages, and they're qualified on a 4.5%, 5% interest rate. When interest rates go back to 8%, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And so I think if they had property investments in other areas that were, say, $500,000 or $600,000, and the interest was tax deductible, wouldn't really matter so much if interest rates went up. And at least you're having a tenant to help you service the loan that you don't get in a home, you know, unless you rent your rooms out on Airbnb. So that's the position on having a dream home. I think typically a dream home, when people buy them, they get sick of them in 5 years. And, you know, oh, we don't want to live here anymore, we're sick of it. And then what happens is they sell the dream home and they move somewhere else, and they pay stamp duties again, legals again, moving costs again. And typically you have to do the house up before you sell it. You've got to pay agents' fees again. And then you've got to go and find another house. And you pay all those transaction fees again and again and again and again. So the biggest mistake people make is actually buying and selling houses every 5 years that they live in. That's a huge mistake. And that will continue to happen because people are emotional beings, and they don't understand the benefit of actually living in a house for a long time. So if you're going to own a home and have a mortgage, stay in it for a long time. If you make more money, don't upgrade to a 6-bedroom, 7-bedroom, because you'll get sick of that as well, and you'll find it hard to maintain. It'll be a lot of money to maintain it, and you'll actually end up going back to a smaller house. So stay where you are. Don't buy the dream home just yet, if at all, and then perhaps just expand out by buying a property investment, which is a far more astute financial decision. That's what I think about that.